Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Coffee Chug Books, aka the Bald Gapless Wonder Boy, and I'm here today to share with you some of my tips of what I do when I prepare for a Makey workshop. A lot of you ask me questions on what do I do, what do I buy, what do I purchase, how do you manage the structure, and I know many of you are already experts and do way better job than me, and so I would love if you were to share how you're seeing this video of what you do, because collectively we can all learn and get better together. But what I wanted to do is just take you through my process of what I deliver and bring to the participants in my Makey workshop. And I share this, not that this is the answer, it's just my answer. And every time I do it, I tweak it a little bit better and do things a little bit differently based on the flow of things. And so that's just what great educators do, right? Whether we're educating adults or students, it's a constant tweak. We're constantly getting better, enhancing, and then learning and improving. And so what I want to do is take you through this right here. What I like to do, something that I have found is, I used to do, and you can see the video, I have a video that I've posted about the idea of creating gifts to change the experience. I used to give a bag like this. Or depending on my bigger Make Yourself Into a Maker workshops, I give them a big, huge maker box. But that's a 2-day workshop or a 4-day workshop where there's tons of other things. But this is typically what we would do because it's easy to travel with, right? It's easy to bring. But I've learned that this can be packaged so much better by doing something like this. And so these are just dollar gift bags that I got from the dollar store. And this creates a sense of wonder and an inquiry, and then it already gets them off, feel it off on the right foot. Depending on the registration, if I have access to names, then I will print labels, and where I put a positive word to go with each name. So in this particular case, this teacher's name is Cheryl, and so I try to connect a positive word that starts with the same letter as their name. So this is Sparkling Cheryl's bag. And I think it just, as it opens them in, it eases the tension for those that are lacking some confidence, maybe a little unsure. And more importantly, it just sets the stage for a good positive day. So let's cut the camera close up, and I'm going to unbox this gift here and show you everything that I give a participant in their bag to start off the workshop. Okay, so the first thing that I give, there's lots in here. So participants pay a fee to cover the cost of all this, and I believe that my goal is to give them all the stuff needed to eliminate every excuse in the book of why they can't use a Makey in their classroom. And this could be the same thing that holds true for any kind of workshop that I'm hosting. So in this case, I love this book by Colleen and Aaron Graves, the 20 Makey projects for the evil genius. Phenomenal projects. Some more advanced, not everything is super simple, but this is great for people to have out in their makerspace or their library or in their classroom. It challenges the educator, but more importantly, it also is a place for students to kind of push their learning and thinking along the way. And oftentimes what I'll do is kind of scan through the projects and take little bits and pieces as I'm building out my own idea. So I give everybody this book here. The other thing I do is I print off these guides here. These are free and available on the Makey website, but I know educators love paper copies. And so I print these off and I spiral bound them. That way they can make notes they can work through. This also helps in case they're working through an internet slow or not working that day. So I print off the sample lesson plans of using Makey with Lego. I print off the small little educator guide, which is kind of just everything that is needed and standards and stuff for them to kind of see the value. This is really good for teachers to take back to work with their admin if admin have questions about the workshop. And then just these sample lesson plans. I just think it's important to have some paper copies of things for teachers as they're getting started. I provide them all a piece of cardstock. And this is for the draw it station. When we get to that point, I believe for me it's level 3 or 4 in my workshop in my flow, but they already have it right away so they can get right into the making. And I like the cardstock more than just a regular piece of printer paper. If possible, I'd like to give them this Makey Inventor Booster Kit. What I like about this, if you've never used this, It's not mandatory, but it just adds a nice little touch. It gives them, as you can see down here, some conductive fabric, square to get started. It gives them one huge alligator cable. I can't tell you how many times as we're in workshops, teachers need a longer cable for a project, so they come with a 6-foot one. It also gives them more jump wire, 6 of those. It gives them 10 yards of conductive tape, and then a circuit scribe pen. So they can actually, I don't want to open this one's up, but there's a small little pen in here for the conductive ink. And so that's really helpful as they get going in here. So this is just a nice little touch as they're, once again, if they come up with ideas in the workshop, they can now realize like the sky truly is the limit. This one came loose, so I have to re-roll this up. But I do provide everybody another roll of conductive tape. I think this is important as we work through circuits, and it just helps them realize like you can go through and just make all you want because you have a whole roll to yourself. And so some will fly through this roll, some will hold on to it because they want to keep it for their kiddos, but at least they have it available for them. And I bring extra. I'll show you in another video all the stuff that I bring on my own, but I'd like everybody to have their own because a lot of times teachers, because they're nice people, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to waste your materials. So that eliminates that mental roadblock. Obviously, they get the Makey. That's pretty straightforward. I provide them a graphite pencil, so we're ready to go for drawing our controllers and things here. So a 6B graphite pencil. I also give them Play-Doh, along with a 9-volt battery connector, a 9-volt battery, and an LED light. So what I like to do here at the very beginning, before we even talk Makey, before we even introduce that concept, we talk about circuits. So these 4 things here are what we use as we start to create circuits to get the LED light to turn on and just understand series and parallel circuits and just getting that basic foundation underway before we get going. I also provide everybody their own box cutter knife. I believe this is important that they have their own tool to use throughout the workshop, and you can never have too many of these back in your makerspace or classroom. And then finally, I've done this a couple different ways, and it just depends on time, but I will give them these materials. So a piece of cardboard, roughly about 4 to 6 inches, a piece of foam already cut, and then kind of like the fire retardant tape that you use around like your dryer vents. I like this way better than the copper tape. And then I give them 2 rubber bands. And so this is for when we start to learn how to make switches. I will tell them to pull these materials out and just tell them and challenge them, can you make a single button switch? And see if they can figure it out. If I'm in a pinch for time, maybe I don't have a full day, I will tape these already to the cardboard and have those sheets and just walk them through how to do that with the foam. But I like for them to kind of problem solve because these are the limitations that they have in their classrooms, and these are the limitations that they can propose to kids to work through things. So this is a beginner thing, and then we move into introducing the Makey, and then we move into the graphite drawing with a pencil, and then we move into creating a 1-button switch and then eventually a 4-button switch, and so those are materials there. And finally, I just always like to have something kind of fun in the package. So in this case, with the recording of this video, we are in October. So at the dollar store, they had all these cool kind of foam Halloween templates. And so I just picked up a couple different bags of these and stuck those in there. So one of the challenges later in the afternoon, they can make anything they want, but I like to give them prompts. And so one of the prompts is to make a Halloween device or decoration. And so these are just there for them to have some fun with. And if they don't use them, not a big deal because I just got them from the dollar store. So this is everything that I would provide in the bag for them. Obviously they get the bag and their name with the label on it, as you see there. And from here, I just feel like they just feel good about stuff. And this kind of gives them everything they need right there in the spot, so we're not wasting time handing things out. And they get to know that they get to keep all this along with everything else that they make throughout the workshop. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. If you have other questions or tips or ideas or things that you do, please share, because together, as I said at the beginning, we can all get better. And hopefully this helps you lead a better workshop so we can inspire teachers to be more awesome than they already are in the classroom. Stay awesome, everybody.